if you've been trying to figure out why humans are a mess, I beat you to it. And I'm going to show you what is wrong and also why it shouldn't matter that I beat anybody to this. We just need to get it and then fix it. Okay, I'm going to do it in 5 minutes. I set a timer. Watch. So here's what's happening. There are two ways of relating. One of them is to do, as in arrive somewhere, right? And this person is just going to go towards the goal. And the goal is where we get money and trophies and status, etc. and so forth. Now, you can be born, as we all are aware, like right next to the goal here and pretend that you guys had the same distance to travel. Another way to work, where you're not just trying to arrive, would be to change this entire dynamic, and you look into another person, and then you say to the other person what you see. So you are able to tell me what you see about me that I can't see about myself, vice versa, as well as what's behind me and what's behind you. And in this way, we make a third thing, which is creativity or building. So this do, I would even say, is do as in due dates, and we have a lot of that. And the problem is, if you stop and build with somebody else, so this I would call doing as building, and you're building this, which could be conceptual or an object or both, you are not moving, you've stopped, okay? And then you'll think, I'm falling behind on this. And the problem is, we say you can get this stuff to buy things to work on. So that's a problem. The other problem comes into the psychology of what happens if we become this guy again. And now we're not exchanging information and we're trying to run. This person can be an outsider that observes a lot about us, but we don't want to hear it from them. And in fact, if we don't like what we hear them observing about us, we will run further and further away from them, because what we really want, that's the next thing, is safety. And we think safety is going to be over here. And this gets into the neuroscience of greed, which you should look into as well. But basically, you're trying to get to what you want. And this person now is the other that signifies unwanted, undesirable, danger, right? So now you've started to do the process of triangulation, which we talk about in the field of psychology sometimes. If you use that just as a layperson like I have, basically you'll say, well, I'm the victim, this person's the villain, maybe God is the hero, and then you have a hero, or you can put other people in this, and you can switch roles, because ultimately what you want to do is to move people further or closer to you while you try to go towards this. You move people closer to you if you think they will help them to skip the line. You will move people further from you if you think they are going to make you unlikely to get what you want. So it's all manipulation. So there's that problem. And then the other issue I'll talk about is affect, which you can also think of as like mood. So here's arousal, as in alertness. So let's say this is go and this is stop. So obviously we're going to need a lot of alertness to go and to keep doing this and burn ourselves out. This is valence, which is pleasant and unpleasant, basically. So pleasant is over here, unpleasant is over here. And what are we doing to ourselves? So basically we're getting ourselves super afraid, so in an unpleasant having to go state, and then we try to escape it over here, which at its worst is basically mania or grandiose delusions, or some of the leaders that we have currently that have lots of feelings of invincibility and godlet sort of behaviors, and God complexes. Now the stop, if we stop somewhere pleasant, so this is a want continuum, right? But if we stop here somewhere we like, right? This is where we can stop and build something we like. And that's what we do. We keep moving as humans. We have these little appendages. See how much I'm using them? So if we stop in place, we'll keep building and doing things we like with people we like. And over here, if we stop because we don't have the ability to go for all of these dynamics that we've looked at, we can have depression, right? Because it's unpleasant. So if our body is breaking down, we can't take care of our body. All the things that we need to build with, we can't get. So this is what's wrong. So less DUE, more DO. You have to understand we need to do as in build, not do as in arrive. And if we can work this out with good theories, we can probably save the species from suffering forever. Oh, and then there's one last thing I need to note about this. So the final problem here, and why we see incompetent people as leaders who have a lot of resources, and with specific traits that are not great, what would be easier? Building and then having to go back into the rat race, going back into the arrival due trophy race, or staying in the race the whole time, not being very good at building anything, and knocking people out of the way, sabotaging people so that you're winning. And then they sabotage each other smaller and smaller and smaller, slicing, triangulating, smaller and smaller until you get somebody over here that has these personality traits that we associate with, like narcissism or deeply antisocial people who are manipulative, because that's what we're creating. So fix this. Do as Bill, not do as DUE and arrive. Thank you. Okay, wait, you get one more bonus minute, and this one's really important. What also can happen is this guy can pretend to be at the arrival point. Let's say he's like the Pope or something, Popat, I don't know, Popat. And he'll say that you should listen to him because he's still doing this process, the looking in, but with, let me pop this off so we can say who he's pretending he's looking at. God. So he can say, I'm looking at God. And similarly, in that same religion, you can say that women, I'm just going to give her silly hair, are not observers that can do this relationship with another person. And you look at them as if they don't have anything to observe and perceive or share their perceptions with. No eyes, no mouth, whatever. Right? No ears to hear, right? You treat them like they don't have that, or if they do, it's unworthy of being shared. Like, so you devalue them and you explicitly say in religions that they can't teach or speak. Which is also why somebody like me can be an outsider that sees this as so weird, because I'm not invited to pretend that I'm talking to God. So the relationship becomes doing is arriving, and occasionally replaced with this emperor has no clothes faux doing is building with supposedly a God that then you say, well, I'm speaking for God, and then everyone has to do what you say, because yeah, this recurses in on itself. Okay, hope that's good for you. Any questions? I ended early. This is supposed to ring. Like, please leave comments and engage. I don't think this is gonna ring. My name is Jane, by the way. Oh, can you give me money? That was the thing. I don't have money to do more work like this. If you appreciate that and you have any, yeah, DM me.